funding this.
Big question from a lot of our viewers, how are you going to pay for it? This is going to increase the deficit, according to the congressional budget scorekeepers, by about $1 trillion. I know you disagree with that analysis. You think growth is going to pay for it. But what if you're wrong? Are you willing to reverse the cuts?
Yeah, sure. No, that would be the last thing we want to do, because there's two things we think are necessary for getting the debt and deficit under control. Spending control, getting spending under control, reforming entitlements and cutting spending, and growing the economy. So this is our plan to grow the economy, and we are convinced this will grow the economy. All the scorekeepers say it will grow the economy. It's just a question of degree. But we need to keep focused on the spending side of the ledger as well. And so that, to me, is very important, and we're going to get back on that to make sure that we can get spending under control. But we have to have economic growth. We got to get people back to work in higher-paying jobs. If people are working in higher-paying jobs, they're paying more taxes. The economy benefits overall. And so that's what this does. And so we're convinced this is one of the key ingredients to fiscal discipline. The other one, of course, being spending discipline.
And that spending has a lot of people concerned as well. The AARP has come out against the tax bill, in part because they say it's going to increase the national deficit, and that means $25 billion in cuts to Medicare next year alone. Those Medicare cuts are going to be triggered next month.
Not going to happen. I can just cut you off right there. You and I know these. I know you used to work here, so you know these budget rules. It's kind of an arcane rule that will not occur, and those cuts will not happen.
So you're committed to getting to reversing those cuts.
Yeah, it's the PAYGO system, which is a rule, by the way, we never favored in the first place, and those cuts will not happen.
But are you ruling out any Medicare cuts throughout 2018? Because as you just said, you want to get spending under control, and for you, that's usually met entitlements like Medicare.
We're going to fix the PAYGO problem, which is an arcane budget problem and budget rule. But do we want to get entitlement reform? Of course we do. But the kinds of entitlement reforms I think that we're going to be pursuing are the kinds that help make sure we get people from welfare to work. That's what we're
So you're ruling out Medicare cuts next year?
There are some provider issues that we may be addressing. As you know, some providers in the Medicare field, in some cases, are getting overpaid. We want to make sure that that's being dealt with. But as far as you're talking about beneficiaries, we're not focused on that. We're focused on getting people from welfare to work. We're focused on giving states more flexibility in Medicaid. Those are things that we think we can do to bring more savings to the budget. More importantly, to get people from welfare to work. And those are the kinds of things we're going to be focused on in 2018.
This tax cut is about to pass, but so far this year, Congress has failed to fund the Children's Health Insurance Program. That provides health coverage to 9 million American kids. States are already warning that if it's not passed, they're going to be cutting off coverage to these children. Yeah. Will you fund the Children's Health Insurance Program before heading home for Christmas?
Yeah, we will. As you know, the House, we already passed this bill. We passed on November the 3rd a full funding and a full extension of the CHIP bill. The Senate has not done that. So obviously we would like to follow through and pass something. We passed an interim measure since we passed the full funding measure, and we'll do something once again before the end of the year to make sure that those states don't get hit with any CHIP cuts. So the House has already acted twice on this matter. We'll do it a third time if necessary.
Lots of speculation you're going to step down as Speaker at the end of the year. I know you said you're going to be around a long time, but are you committed to running for re-election to your House seat and for Speaker?
Yeah, look, so I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. I'm so focused on getting our agenda done. On questions on way down the line, I'll address those way down the line. But in the meantime, we've got a lot of work to do. I'm here to stay. I'm not going anywhere. If something changes down the road in the future, I'll address that down the road.
But you haven't decided to run for re-election yet?
I haven't even, it's not even 2018 yet. So that's something my wife and I always discuss later in the campaign year, something we haven't even discussed yet. So that's something we'll discuss down the road when the appropriate time comes.
Mr. Speaker, thanks for your time this morning.
You bet. Thank you, George.